part of my playthrough of Final Fantasy XIII, so this is just immediately where I left off from the end of the last video. So Fang fought her at Eidolon Bahamut.
Hey, look at that!
What?
And now we're going to head to Gran
Airship?
Pulse.
And it's from Gran Pulse. I guess it was one of this arc's weapons, or something.
That's a gate to Gran Pulse. Right.
So what? That's our exit? Pulse or bust?
Could be one of Daisley's traps.
Well, that's not good. Do you think it might take us to Eden?
I'm doing the flying. No more of these ships taking charge of our travel plan stuff. The only place this thing is taking us is where these boys tell it to.
Really? That is a Gran Pulse ship.
Really? Leave it to me. Okay.
Either way, we're on borrowed time. So might as well go. We get lucky, maybe we'll even turn up some way to get rid of these goofy tattoos.
Yeah.
But there's no way to do that.
You never know. Maybe we just didn't think to look for one.
If nothing else, we know Cocoon's safe for the time being. I'd say it's worth going to take a look.
Maybe. But what about your dad?
I made him a promise. I promised him to keep going, and do what I had to. He said only I would know what that was. The world's full of lies. There's no way of knowing what's right. All we can do is believe in ourselves. It's easy to sit back and let people trick you. Like how the Sanctum had us all thinking that LSC was some sort of monster. I'm done with their lies. Fal'Cie, this whole focus thing. From here on out I use my eyes. Think. And act. I might not make all the right choices, but as long as I'm the one who decided what to do, there's nothing to regret.
Okay.
All right, let's do it. I'm with you. Bad choices and all.
Of course, I'm not sure how it's gonna turn out. Pulse is hell, you know.
Oh, is it now? How many times have you been there?
None. But I want to go and see what it's like for myself.
Okay, people. So, everybody in?
Right.
Absolutely.
Off to hell we go.
Right.
No one ever said the future'd be easy.
So one thing you should prepare for the first time you land on Pulse is there's going to be another Eidolon battle and it's Hopes.
I think we all saw the glimmer of a dream somewhere in the sky that night.
But the thing is, when you first get there, you're not going to have any control of
timeless
snow.
spark
Of hope, sorry.
We could change our fate.
So what you've got with Hope just now is basically what you've got to fight with.
You could say.
But it's not too difficult a fight, so...
That moment's come and gone.
Ooh, big
Playful
scary
little creature,
monsters
isn't it?
down here.
Yeah, we'll play with someone else.
Happens all the time.
He thinks we're lunch.
Yeah, like on the seafood buffet.
Seafood, cute.
Guys, here it comes!
Ouch.
Fang! Get him!
I'm on it.
Yeah. Oh, I see. That was clever.
Here goes.
Hey! Over here!
You okay?
Oh yeah, I'm great.
Grab on.
It was almost like she planned the Bahamut fight.
Home sweet home. Welcome to Gran Pulse.
So Gran Pulse is just this huge open world that's full of areas that you can explore and go back to. So unlike previous areas where you can't go back to them once you've completed them, with pretty much all of Gran Pulse you can run back and forth to all the places all the time.
A
So
world, wild and fragile, vibrant and untamed. Gran Pulse.
I've got big tall flowers and a big floating eggshell in the sky.
It's a place where lives are ruled by the brutal struggle for survival and the callous and uncaring whim of the Fal'Cie. There is no such thing as mercy. Only a never-ending string of trials that weed out the weak and leave only the strong. Rains knew the truth. The purpose lying at the heart of all the Fal'Cie's actions. Recalling their lost deity and returning the world to its former glory. People were never anything more than sacrifices. And Cocoon's destruction? It's just a way to wake a sleeping god. But would bringing the Maker back into this world really lead to our salvation?
Ooh, it's like the beginning of The Lion King. Wants to be like
The Maker created Fal'Cie, and they, in their desperation to be reunited with the Maker, created l'Cie. And l'Cie? I wonder what we'll end up creating. future looked bleak. But as long as we could keep our spirits up, we'd find a way to change our fate. Somehow.
You were having a dream.
A pretty strange dream.
Hey, my
Hey
feet are killing
guys,
me.
have any luck?
No sign of anyone else. But we did find plenty of bloodthirsty wildlife and crumbling ruins.
Long day?
Well, guys, we've run out of places to search around here. Huh. Where's Hope?
He's off with the chocobo, getting supplies. Hello.
Hey. You all by yourself?
It's Brand!
What?
We gotta find him!
So your first intro into Gran Pulse is just there's just one more little sort of linear path to follow. Just running through this little bit, and there's a few enemies to fight, and then which gives you a sort of little introduction to what to expect on Gran Pulse.
Take down the enemy.
Because the enemies are, as you can imagine, because this is a new area,
You're
going to
going
get
down.
a lot tougher now. Going to take a lot more strength and magic to beat them,
Take this.
and also a lot more strategic planning, but once you get used to this area, you can pretty much stick to your basic fighting styles. Things like aggression and relentless assault paradigms, and then make sure you've got a couple of healing paradigms for some of the tougher enemies. Yeah. Also discovering that some of the
Let's wrap this up.
enemies around here like need what's a good idea sometimes to use Libra on some of these enemies, because you haven't had to bother too much about it before, but some enemies have like different strengths and weaknesses, and need to be able to expose them to make sure you win the fight better. I mean, you've got a sort of had a basic intro to that with some of the, you know, like the Pulsework soldiers, and you know, those soldiers that were weak until you staggered them, and then they opened up this big lightning thing, and then they were so much easier to beat. Well, you'll have to do a lot more sort of strategic fighting like that on Gran Pulse. But you're also going to get plenty level up opportunities, because obviously stronger enemies, more CP, and you've got a massive Crystarium expansion to deal with, so so you'll have hours and hours of fun grinding to get those levels up. And also here there's a few enemies that you do not want to run into straight off because they're very, very tough, and trying to take them on straight away, you're more than likely going to end up dead. So it's like that whole big linear path you've been following all the way up to now. Has been preparing you for this bit. But also, there's so much more opportunities to do things other than just run around and kill enemies. Well, I mean, there's the opportunities are killing more enemies, but what I mean is it's more than just sort of running into a path and then fighting one enemy and then one enemy. It's like choosing the path of which enemies you fight. You'll know what I mean later on. I'm not explaining this very well, but it'll become clear soon. Probably not in this video, but more likely in the next video, when you'll get something called Cie'th Stone missions, where you'll get like unique enemies popping up from these Cie'th Stones, and you'll get the opportunity to fight them over and over again. You can use that to help yourself earn some nice items.
Let's wrap this up. Turn the tide.
But in the meantime, just keep running on ahead. Until you meet Hope at like a little waterfall, and as I mentioned, we're going to jump into Hope's Eidolon battle. So if you haven't already done so, you'll get a brief opportunity to do it, but make sure Hope's well prepared. Make sure he's equipped with some strong accessories. And also make sure Lightning and Fang are well equipped, because they're going to be the support for the Eidolon battle. Third fan's a bit more difficult than the last one. So speaking of which, I better just check the equipment of, yeah, she's not got very strong equipment, so I will equip her with a power wristband. And now, Hope's Eidolon doesn't have any particularly strong, memorable attacks, but I'll put that on. So, well, while we've got him in our party, let's make him. I'm going to keep that tungsten bangle because I'm going to make sure Hope's equipped with that, so he's got full HP for his battle. Now let's put this on. Because we don't have Hope here, we can't equip him with anything, but once you find him and bring him back to base, you'll get a very brief opportunity to make sure he's equipped. Oh, excuse me.
Target acquired.
For this fight you want to get rid of the Eidolons first, because they absorb your HP and that's not nice. And then switch to a Ravager to deal with the Flans, because they're more vulnerable to magic than they are to physical attacks. And there's Hope up there in that little...
Hope! So this is how it ends. Just wait. Now, how long has it been since we left Cocoon? Not a single soul for miles around? Not a single clue about this whole sea mess? What I'm saying is, we did well just getting this far.
But we could go a little further.
Meaning?
There's still one place.
Vanille?
Oh,
Are you sure?
I'm sure.
You know, if we don't find anything this time, we won't get another chance.
Erba. The place it all began.
Hope.
The place where the Pulse Fal'Cie lay dreaming. Vanille and Fang's home. Just maybe, it'll be the place where we find the answers we're looking for.
Yeah, right. If we can get there.
Go ahead without me.
We can't just leave you.
I'll be fine. You've all taught me so much. You showed me how to fight.
What did I tell you? Leave the fighting to me.
I'm scared.
We understand. You're not gonna go through this ordeal alone, you know. Huh?
That's what scares me. I don't want to see you get hurt because of me. It'd be better for everyone if I just stayed behind.
Here we go.
Mention ordeals, and look what comes along! This is not an ordeal. This is a gift. Hope! This is the kind of power you've got inside, and it's telling you not to give up. Trust me.
Oh, I get it. It's here to show you the way. Show you that you've got what it takes to get back on your feet and do this thing.
You mean that came from me?
Ready?
Okay, here we go. So, compared to the Bahamut one, this thing is much easier. So first of all, cast Libra on it so that you can make sure you're doing the right thing.
Give it your best shot.
Now, it's a good idea to heal everyone up, particularly Fang, because she's likely going to be a sentinel for this to absorb the attacks from this thing. And make sure Hope's protected as well.
Cheers.
Now,
Keep out of this. Give it your best shot.
when it looks like he's threatening to attack, just make sure Fang's in the sentinel role. And you also get bonuses for healing your opponents. Your teammates. So the best trick is also amassing chain bonuses helps, but it also helps if you've got Hope as the healer and he heals up the party.
Careful now.
So if you can get the healing, as much healing as you can going, and then switch to the relentless assault to get the chain bonus as a Ravager. Oh shit. Switch back to this.
This'll be quick. Give it your best shot.
Come on.
You're gonna squirm.
I'm trying to switch the paradigm I'm already on. Right, we've almost got him. There we go.
Here I go!
It's funny, Hope's the smallest character in the game and he gets the biggest Eidolon. Maybe that's just a metaphor for what they were saying, the strength he's got inside of him. Anyway. So there we go, that wasn't too difficult.
That's some beast you tamed, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. I always thought the Eidolons appeared to set us free through death. But now, I think maybe they're here to snap us out of our slumps.
Oh, like the one you were just in?
I'll ask for help earlier next time around.
I told you. On Gran Pulse, we're all family. You can moan all you like, but you're stuck with us.
You're never alone in hell.
Listen, funny man, don't call this place hell, all right?
So, we're all decided then.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Maybe nothing would change. And maybe we'd hit a dead end. But we were at least going to see where the road would take us. The search for a home, buried in the past, and the faintest glimmer of hope. Our final journey had just begun.
right. So the more observant of you'll realise that Vanille hasn't had an Eidolon battle yet. Don't worry, that's coming. So this is the big open area. It's an area called, I hope I'm pronouncing this correctly, the Arkelt Steppe, or Archilti Steppe, whatever you want to pronounce it. Call it what you like. It's that place. And Remember I was mentioning Cie'th Stones?
It's...
Look
This is
familiar?
one here.
It's a kind of Cie'th. It's in the last stage.
A Cie'th.
Don't worry. It's no threat to anyone anymore. L'Cie that fail their focus become Cie'th and wander the wilds. Eventually, they lose the will to go on and turn to stone. But still, even in this state, they can't forget the task they once had.
And they call out to L'Cie, over and over. Complete my focus.
So they're doomed to eternal regret, huh? It's pretty horrible.
Well, hey, we should help this one out. Come on, we can't just ignore it.
Well, I've
Listen,
got
if
this
we
here, I
fail
might as
our
well.
Focus, it could be us suffering like that.
Wow. What a
Might as
heavy
well
thought. That's not
do
like-
this first Cie'th Stone
But
mission
going out
to...
of his way to help someone, that's snow all over.
Might as well do this first Cie'th Stone mission just to give you a little intro into the world of Gran Pulse. So yeah, Cie'th Stones are lots of little stones that will lead you the way to missions with special monsters. And there's several of them around, all with varying different levels of difficulty. But they're basically the side quest that Final Fantasy has become synonymous with, but they're sort of the only side quest in this game. That's really all I have to say about them. So the good thing about these is you can take them. You can only take them on one at a time, but the good thing, you can take them on as many times as you like. When you first complete them, you'll get when you first complete them, you'll let me get my trail of thought back. When you first defeat them, you'll get like a nice item, usually an accessory or something, and then the more you fight them, the more times you take them on, the more items you'll get. Usually you'll get bomb shells or bomb cores, which make good components for upgrading weapons and accessories. So for this, I'm just going to put back who I had on. Hope, Fang, Snow and Vanille, and let's make sure I start with a Relentless Assault paradigm, and I think that one would help. I could try Disaster, and an Aggression one, because one with 2 commandos always helps polish off tougher enemies quicker. I don't have any of them as a medic, so let's have this one on. And Saboteur rolls always help. Some of the weaken the tougher enemies. And let's have another healing one. Thaumaturgy or Thaumaturgy, however you pronounce that. So that's a good one to set up and get a feel for Gran Pulse.
I think it's starting to sink in. We're home.
So let me start by doing this first one. This is something called the Ecto Pudding. It's one of those sort of jelly type enemies. So the gelatinous rube beside the pond is the very Ecto Pudding I seek. Blah 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 blah. So let's take on this mission. This isn't hugely difficult. And oh shit! And now is that the one that's fuck? Right. Okay. Nope. Right. This is probably not going to end very well for me because because that behemoth is very, very tough to beat right now. Same we took Snow out in 2 hits. Oh, fuck. That was not a good fight to get into to start off with. Because at this early stage, you're nowhere near strong enough to take on that behemoth. So let's steer well clear of that fight. Now those wolf things, the Gorgonopsids, I think they were called, they're much easier to fight on their own. So I'm going to take them on just like this. Gorgonopsid, yeah. Gorgonopsid. Final Fantasy is pretty much well known for enemies that you just don't know how the hell to pronounce.
Could have been worse. Eat this!
So yeah, so much easier to take on by themselves. So this ecto pudding you're looking for. Oh, by the way, there was a treasure chest up here. Stop jumping up and down on there. So in this treasure chest is a rod of thorns. That's obviously something for Neil. And does it have any special thing about it? No, looks a bit bland. So you see, you see that sort of blue jelly up in the corner there, all up at the top of the screen. That's the ecto pudding. Now, as with every fight, oh, good, got a preempt on this one. So quick to stagger them all. Switch to aggression, so that we've got 2 commandos to knock 7 bales of shit out of them.
Could have been worse.
And there we go. Easy fight. So if you can, a preempt on this one would certainly help. Now, this thing is vulnerable to lightning damage, but you won't find out until you do Libra. So cast Libra and then switch to a tri-disaster paradigm, so that we can just spam it with thunder magic. And that was, there we go, that was an easy first Cie'th Stone mission. And your prize for completing your first one is an energy sash. Ooh, nice. And I believe there's also a trophy you can get if you manage to get 5 stars on all the Cie'th Stone missions. Something I haven't managed to achieve yet, so who knows, maybe in this playthrough I might actually manage it. So there we go, that's your first Cie'th Stone mission. Now if you want to take on another one, there's one, the next one is right here. I'm going to end this broadcast for now, and I'll start up another one, take on that next Cie'th Stone mission, and then hello. Then we'll just see what this playthrough throws at me. So in the meantime, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you again for the next broadcast.